Let's get to the 9K and above range on DraftKings for the John Deere Classic. Pat, this is ugly, man. It's real ugly.
Oof.
Webb Simpson's your top guy at 10-6. So I mean, at least DraftKings is making you pay like 11,000 for him. Then you got Adam Hadwin, Sahith Theegala, Jason Day, Denny McCarthy's in there, Mav McNeely. Let's see, Charles Howell's in there, and Christian Bezadenhout is in there. That's it. That's the 9K and above range on DK. Um, I think the popular build this week in DraftKings is going to be balanced. I don't think people are going to love paying for a couple of these guys. I think the 8K range is very strong to me. So I predict that the contrarian build would be to use a few of these guys. So if you were to pick who you like in this range, Pat, who is it? Where are you going? Who do you think is going to be the chalk? Who's going to be your cash play up here?
I mean, to be honest, I kind of want to go contrarian to what you just said. Like, I don't really like any of these people up here. Like, I think I would rather just
No, that's what I
go.
mean. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
people are gonna
I
want
don't want to play anybody really.
yes.
I like Sahith. I think that he's still playing extremely well. I don't think he's gonna. Who knows if he's gonna withdraw? I don't think he is. Coming in hot, definitely a scorer. So I do like Sahith. I like Charles Howell a lot here at 9,300. I think he's a good play. He's been playing really well. He checks a lot of boxes. He's second in the field in ball striking. He's 30th in opportunities gained. Putts well on bent grass greens. So I like Charles. But outside of that, there's just not really. I don't really want to play anybody in here. I mean, I hate to go against our normal script for the 9K and above range, but I don't. I can't sit here and say I've got three guys that I'm convicted about. I
Yeah,
almost want to just fade the entire range and then go from there.
and that
It's
that's
kind of like betting. I mean, in the betting range, like the 25-1 to 75-1,
woof,
that's the sweet spot.
woof. Yeah, it's not like when you're paying, when you're, and I guess in weeks like this, obviously everyone has to remember that you're going to be uncomfortable because you're paying up prices for guys that you're not used to doing that. You're not used to doing that, but I think up here in this range, it is tough because like, to pay for a Xander Schauffele or even like a Tony Finau or a Sam Burns in the 9K and 10K range. The difference between a player like that in terms of their floor and their ceiling is so different than a player even in this field. Like to me, this field is just so much tighter. Like the talent gap is not really there. Normally, it's a good indication of the talent gap between the 10K guys and the rest of the field is very clear. But there's really not that much of a talent gap here at all.
Uh,
There's some recency bias built in, maybe with Sahith being priced up here. There's some course history bias with guys like Charles Howell being priced up in this range, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as paying up for some of those big studs in a regular field, or just like what we saw last week at the Travelers. So it is different. I definitely I find myself wanting to be more balanced, like you said, and that's where I think everybody's going to want to go. So if I had to pick, I agree with you. I like Charles Howell. One of the things I talked about in the course breakdown video, which by the way, if you're looking for a course breakdown, it's on our YouTube channel. And if you're listening on podcasts, it's on every podcast platform as well. It's about 13 to 14 minutes of everything you need to know, nothing you don't about TPC Deer Run. I break down the golf course, some key stats, some trends. But one of the things I talked about, Pat, is this is the time of year where some of these guys that are in this field that are FedEx 125 bubble boys start to look ahead at the schedule. Maybe they're not playing in the Open Championship. Now, there are some alternate events next week during the Scottish and the week of the Open Championship where you can still earn FedEx Cup points. But I think there's only like 4 or 5 events left before you get to the beginning of the playoffs. And, if you probably these guys don't want to play 4 or 5 events if they don't have to. So they're probably looking at the calendar going, all right, there's probably 3 tournaments that I have left, maybe 4 if I push it and I have to get my FedEx Cup points. And so some of these guys on the bubble, I think are going to have some extra motivation. And if you don't believe me, just go back and read some player quotes from past John Deere's, from past Rocket Mortgages, or whatever the events are closest to the playoffs. Dylan Fratelli mentioned it in 2019. He said he was thinking about it, said it was something on his mind. He came out and won. So I do think that's a thing. nobody up here in this range, I think, is really in trouble of that. But as we start working down, I think that's going to be a thing. I do like CH3. I agree with you on that one. Seems like he's playing really well. And it's at least I feel like the floor is better for him. Seabez is interesting, but I still don't know that I'm going to pay up for Seabez at the 9,100 price. I think if I were going to build a contrarian lineup, and roster one of these guys or two of these guys, it would probably be Charles Howell and Adam Hadwin at 10-4. I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards Sahith, and I get it. But I think Adam Hadwin gives me a higher floor and is less likely to really tank lineups, on Friday afternoon than Sahith may be. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think my guy that I had really written down, if I was going to take a guy over 10K, was going to be Hadwin. I mean, he's been playing well lately. Obviously, a very solid golfer, makes a ton of cuts. But the one that I was wondering about for you up here is Maverick McNeely. I don't even know why Maverick McNeely's up here. Like, I really don't even understand. Like, he's not even playing that well recently.
Yeah.
So you can't give him any of that. Um, I guess, I mean, his course history isn't fantastic. Like, I think that's the strangest addition up here. His stats do show up well here. Other
Well,
than that, that's about all I got for him.
before I tell you why I think that is, I got to thank our friends at front9coffee.com. It is coffee for golfers, started right here in our own hometown of Augusta, Georgia. Based in Augusta, Georgia, good small business to support if you love coffee and you love golf. And we appreciate them supporting the Tour Junkies podcast for the long haul. And they're going to be at the live golf event as well. You can go to front9coffee.com. That's front, the number 9coffee.com. Put in promo code TJ10 and get 10% off any order. And you can use that code over and over again for orders. They'll ship anywhere in the US and Canada within a couple of days of ordering. And the best part is the coffee is fresh and delicious. It's not even roasted yet. They roast it after you order. And you
Hmm.
can pick your grind. You can pick if you want whole bean or not. They have so many great flavors. And in fact, they're about to come out with two new great flavors, one by Pat and one by me. More
Yes.
about that in the coming weeks. Maybe we'll drop that for like the Open Championship or something. But check out front9coffee.com, promo code TJ10. Pat, I think the reason Mav McNeely is up here is just it's long term form being factored in, I guess, with DraftKings or whatever they use to set these prices, and it's name value, I guess. I mean, McNeely's definitely had a great year. You cannot overlook. Well, he's had a good year.
Yeah.
It's hard to really overlook how good he's played. He's been very consistent. Only recently have we seen a couple missed cuts in a row. I mean, the guy hasn't missed a cut in 2022 except for the last two events. Those are his first two cuts. He hasn't missed a cut on the those are the only 2 cuts he's missed. Sorry, he's missed 3 cuts the entire PGA Tour season. So starting back in September through now, he's missed 3 cuts. So, like, he's been very solid, and in a field like this, I think he's probably fine to be up here. Is probably where you would price him. But something is not right. Like, he wasn't quite right before the US Open qualifier. He missed the US Open qualifier badly, and we all bailed. And good thing we bailed so far. I don't know what's going on necessarily, but the irons aren't as good. I do know that, and I'm concerned as well. Um, that's probably all I have. I mean, if I were going to play a cash lineup here, I'm not starting a cash lineup anywhere near. I'm starting a cash lineup in the 8Ks, and I'm rolling with it. The 8K is where it's at to me. Um, so I think that's it. We good on the
That's
10K?
yeah, that's all I have. Yeah.